Hi, and welcome back into the ASEG News Studio. My name is Tom Whalegum. We are here live at TechEd and Decode. And again, we are sponsored by NTT Data. Well, I'm excited to have Charles Reeves in here to talk about some master data management today. Charles, welcome into the studio.
Thank you.
Charles, you're doing a presentation actually just in a couple of minutes. We'll get you there, I promise. But you're going to offer up your advice that you've learned over the years at your company, Graphic Packaging International. Tell us quickly, what do you do there, and tell us just a little bit about the company.
Sure, I'm the Director of Master Data Management and Business Objects, BI, Business Intelligence at Graphic Packaging, and I'm responsible for all the business intelligence, data reporting, dashboarding type of effort in the space.
So you're all about the data.
Yes.
Company data. Tell us a little bit about the kind of journey that Graphic Packaging has been on. What are the highlights that you've kind of learned over the years?
So over the years, we finished an SAP implementation, and then after we finished the implementation, we went into a business intelligence mode. So we implemented SAP Business Objects. We wanted to get better, flexible reporting, dashboarding, and as we completed that effort, we saw a lot of the data anomalies out there through our dashboarding, reporting, and business objects, and we realized we needed to do something with those data anomalies because that data was affecting our transactional and decision making in our processes. So we needed to address the master data issues that we're having, and then ultimately the transactional data issues that we saw also.
Not an uncommon problem for most companies these days. You know, how important should master data management be to every company today? I mean, you guys have obviously made it a priority. I mean, how critical is it?
I think it's very critical. I mean, you can have the fanciest dashboards, charts all in the world. You can have the best ERP in the world, but if you don't have good, clean data, then you're making decisions, you're producing products with incorrect, inaccurate information, and ultimately it can affect your bottom line.
Absolutely, it can end up in some very disastrous situations.
Yes.
So, thinking about your presentation you're going to be making, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you guys have learned over the years that you would share with someone who's maybe just starting out on their master data management journey?
I think one of the big things is when we first implemented SAP, we had to make a decision whether we were going to clean up the data in the beginning as we were going from legacy systems to SAP, or we're going to wait to afterwards. I think no matter what you decide, you have to think about that decision and come up with a game plan, because if you don't clean up the data in the beginning, you do need to come up with a plan later after SAP implementation, and we did that kind of really later, but we didn't really think about it as much, and I'm encouraging companies to think about that, as well as think about the tools they want to use to clean up the data. There's a lot of great tools out there. I think SAP Data Services is one of the better or best tools out there because of its flexibility and be able to take an input source, output source, it's not even SAP specific, and it allows that flexibility to cleanse the data easily, and it's a good product.
We talked a little bit about active versus passive data management. What does that mean?
So active data governance management is when the data is coming into the system, when you're creating a new customer master, a new vendor entry, putting processes in place to check and validate that data before it gets into the SAP environment.
So this is like when someone's going in, they're going to stop and say,
yes,
that's not right.
As opposed to someone just fat fingering and screwing up the data when it's coming in. Passive side is the data's in the system, and for whatever reason, someone makes a change or whatever and screws up the data. So come up with processes to prevent that passive activity of correction or change as the data is already in the system.
One of the other things we talked about was having bought in the kind of senior management being like, this is really important to us. Is that another big thing? I mean, if you don't have that, if no one's committed to having good data, then...
Correct. So like I said, the first thing is understanding that master data is important. Second step is now you got to convince the upper level management, CEO, CFO, CIO, VPs, that it's important so they can spin that message and send that down the chain to the different levels to make it important. Because if you don't have the senior level buy-in, then nothing's going to happen of substance at the lower level.
That's true. And of course, as these new dashboards, easier to make dashboards in some sense, and executives wanting these dashboards on their iPads, if they're getting bad data and they're making decisions off that, that could be potentially really bad.
Yes, I agree 100%. I mean, like I said, we were in the dashboard mode and developing stuff on iPads and rolling things out. And like I said, we had to take a step back because we started to see so many data issues, and we were going to be effective we're going to produce some dashboards and different things that weren't going to have value because they had incorrect data. So we really had to take a step back and look at the master data, correct that problem, and then we've gotten through that stage, and now we're going back into the kind of the analytics and mobility and reporting.
Charles, that's some great advice. Thank you very much for coming in the studio. Wish you good luck on your session, and we'll talk to you again.
All right, thanks a lot.
For more customer stories like Charles's, please check out asugnews.com.
Okay.